Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Dropping the Hammer Unfiltered. I'm your host, Days of Richie, and if you guys aren't familiar with this podcast, this is one where we look back at the previous race weekend. We kind of break it down and I give my general opinion on it. We look at some of the news that's happened throughout the week, and this week has been pretty news-filled, so to speak. I mean, it's only Wednesday. This is when I record, is on Wednesday. Usually try to get it up on Wednesday, but sometimes it might be a Thursday by the time I edit and get it up. And then we look ahead to the following race weekend. So let's jump right into it and let's talk about the road racing that we had in all three series. But we had two separate tracks for the three series. So we'll start first with the truck race at St. Petersburg. And, you know, I was a little bit hesitant if I thought it was going to be a good race in the last episode. I thought, you know, we're going to a track for the first time with like an entry-level series, basically, and we're having a lot of guys who are unretired or haven't run a NASCAR competitive race in 10-plus years, 15-plus years, and then we have a bunch of young guys that have never run this course. Nobody's run this course. So I was like, I think it's just going to be pure chaos. We go into the weekend, it rains, they don't get any practice in. They get a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is going to be catastrophic. It's going to be like Chicago the one year where they crashed in that one section and they all just log jammed in. I thought maybe that, and then, you know, if that had happened in the truck race, everybody would have ARCA braked into the crash. But surprisingly, it was the best race all weekend. I couldn't believe it. It was incredible. I mean, that track was so interesting. I never watched that track before for IndyCar, but I mean, they come off of the front straightaway down that runway, and they go into that little switchback after turn one where it's like the S's, but it's like switchbacks, and they were moving. I mean, they were passing, they were dive bombing, and it was all kind of clean. There were a couple drivers that had some issues, kind of missing the course, but really, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to O'Reilly or the Cup running a street circuit there for how fast and how many passing opportunities there was. I doubt that they do it because I doubt NASCAR even goes back with the trucks next year because, I mean, who knows what they do with the schedule, but like that was something. I mean, if they want to do like Cup double headers with IndyCar, that's a great track. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised by that. So Lane Riggs obviously wins the race. Ty Majeski had an opportunity at a bump and run or a dive bomb in the final corner, thanks to Stuart Friesen, who held up Lane Riggs, late in the race, allowed Ty Majeski to close in. But yeah, Ty Majeski doesn't go for the bump and run. Maybe a smart decision because, you know, the way that the new format is, it's no longer winning in. So all he has to do is run well to make the chase. And you don't want to make enemies along the way. And he's a Ford Alliance teammate. So smart decision on his part. I know people like chaos at the end of these things, but I thought that the race, even the finish, panned out well and was almost like a complete race. The only thing I dislike is, I believe under caution, it was non-competitive pit stops. I feel like we need to get away from that, especially, I know that most of the time the teams don't have their main pit crews because usually the Cup teams pit the trucks or the O'Reilly in certain races. So of course with the Cup and O'Reilly in Austin, your main guys aren't going to be in St. Petersburg and then go to Austin the next day, or maybe I think it was Saturday. So it was the same day as O'Reilly, I believe. I don't know if I'm remembering that correct. Yeah, it was Saturday. So that would be the one thing, because I do like to see how strategy pans out, not red flag it and everybody gets to hold their spot. Unless when I watched it, I caught it at when they actually red flag. I don't think they red flagged it. I mean, I did watch it. I watched the race, but there's like a part of me that's like, I remember non-competitive pit stops, unless I'm just remembering like Lime Rock last year or something. Who knows? I tend to do that. But yeah, no, great race, best race of the entire weekend. I was just cool to see Dario Franchitti back in a truck. Hinchcliffe was in a truck. So a lot of storylines heading into that race. And Franchitti ran well. I mean, he was making moves. There was an incident going into turn one where he dive bombed Hinchcliffe and made it work. Tony Kanaan and Jimmy Johnson were loving it. If you guys haven't seen that, it's a cool reaction. But then he kind of fell off. But he was up there, for a little bit. He was inside the top 5, top 10, in that range. But it just didn't pan out at the end. But great race. We'd love to see them go back. We'll see if they do it. We'd love to see them expand on that with the different series. Then we moved to O'Reilly. I didn't catch the O'Reilly race, but from my understanding is there wasn't much that really happened. There was some tempers in it, and SVG, does what SVG does best. And at the end of the race, everybody goes into turn one, overdrives it. He lets off the gas, goes low, rides the curb, and goes on to take the victory and drives away, which is, what SVG does best. There is a lot that we're going to talk about with the, incident that happened at the end of the race between two drivers. One driver who is very experienced and will be a top prospect for years to come, and the other driver, which will probably be out of the sport if the Hendrick funding goes away. And you can guess who that is. But I didn't catch the race, but I thought it was, at least towards the end and the highlights that I watched, I thought it kind of looked entertaining. It's always exciting when there's a late restart, even though it doesn't decide the true race winner. It still is, it adds to the value of the race. And then we go to Cup, which I don't understand what else NASCAR can do besides take the Gen 7 car, bring it out behind the barn, and shoot it right in the head, because this car sucks. We raised the horsepower, the lap times were the same, we changed the tire, the lap times are the same. There is absolutely no difference from last year. Last year was a better race. It's incredible to see how poor the next-gen car is for it basically being a sports car. And sports cars are primarily known for road racing. And the Cup car sucks. I mean, it just, nothing happened. I mean, Ryan Blaney got out. Chase Briscoe got out to the lead, then Ryan Blaney got out to the lead. No, only two drivers led more than 10 laps. I think it might have been Blaney and Reddick towards the end, which, by the way, Tyler Reddick, 3 in a row, unbelievable. And I think I said that last episode. I said, yeah, he's won a COTA before, watch out. And, I mean, it's just incredible to see this turnaround. I mean, last year, 0 wins, and now he has 3 to start the season and a huge points gap. And who knows, maybe he wins 4, 5, 6 in a row. I mean, that'd be incredible. He's already made history winning the first 3, so why stop there? But it just is the irony of 23XI suing NASCAR and then going out and winning the first 3 races. But yeah, just not much in that Cup race. SVG could have made it exciting at the end, but he fell off. And then there was some guys that had issues and stuff. No real carnage or anything. There was a caution or two for, I think Ross Chastain lost a wheel, so there was caution. And just, maybe there was debris on the track. They threw a caution for something else. But terrible race, which brings us into the second point. And that is the race poll results. At the end of every race on Instagram, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I don't know how you would have gotten to this video. Maybe you subscribe to me on YouTube, or maybe you just found this by yourself. But I do have Instagram as well, at Days of Richie, and I post a race poll after every race. And it's for the Cup race only. I'll probably start doing truck and O'Reilly as well. But for the Cup race, I posted, and I always say, "Did you enjoy the race today?" Comment or vote below, and I only go off of the votes. Certain races get more votes than others. Daytona 500 had the most so far, but we had 58 people vote. We had people that commented too. A lot of the comments were negative. Said that they would have liked it if there was a different winner. Interesting how that works. Even if the race sucks, they still like it. So out of the 58 votes, 64% of you said no, you did not like the race, which kind of makes sense because the race was terrible. So, I mean, look, I'm now Jeff Gluck. I ain't getting thousands of people to vote, but I think Jeff Gluck's poll was also no, too. So, it's just, I don't know what NASCAR looks at. Obviously, they're not looking at my polls, but at least with the fan base that I've tried to make on my page, but being unbiased, I believe that we are honest when we vote, and I believe that the honesty shows here, and 64% said it was a bad race. So just very interesting, compared to Jeff Gluck's, because it's also no. So it's not like I have people that are being dishonest. I mean, everybody doesn't like the racing, and what are they going to do to change it? I mean, there's nothing you could do at this point to make this car any better. I mean, there's drastic changes you could do. I mean, you have to make the width of the tire less. You have to up the horsepower to probably 900. I mean, it's horrible. It's pathetic. But let's move on from the negativity. So we also had a lot of tempers flaring at COTA. I love it. I mean, it's awesome when they get going. Nothing really at St. Petersburg to my knowledge. Maybe we would have if Majeski had moved Lane Riggs. But so in O'Reilly, I talked about it earlier. But Corey Day once again finds himself driving through a competitor and then blaming it on the car. And I believe Jamie McMurray said it on the broadcast. You have a gas pedal and you have a brake pedal. Use the brake pedal. I mean, there's no reason why you should be driving through the back of Connor's Village if you claim that your car isn't 100%. I'm sorry, but like, this kid is out of control. At what point does HendrickCars.com and all the sponsors and everybody and the team go, okay, look, like, this clearly isn't working? He's tearing up cars every race. I mean, he's just wrecking drivers and then not apologizing until the reporters say, hey, are you going to apologize? And then says, oh, I haven't thought of it. Yeah, actually, yes. That should be your first thought on your mind. I mean, you flat out junked a guy complaining that your car was tore up. Just like last week at Atlanta, you had a tire going down. I mean, it's really embarrassing. And I don't understand, like, what... like the process with having these sprint car drivers, but they're not all going to be Kyle Larson. They're not all going to be Chase Briscoe. They're not all going to be these guys that, are winning these races. I mean, it's just something where, and he comes home and finishes fourth. That's the crazy thing. It's probably because he just keeps taking his competitors out. I mean, in Atlanta, I think he finished fourth. And I think at COTA, he finished fourth or fifth. So it's just wild to see that he's still getting good results at the end of the day when he's just wrecking people to get there. It's just not a good way to go about it. But he's gonna get into the wrong guy, and I kind of hope it's Austin Hill, because Austin Hill knows better. He knows NASCAR will watch him. But yeah, Corey Day, man, he's just I don't know. There's time to improve, but. In his defense, they are wildcard tracks. It's 2 super speedways and a road course. Maybe when we get to some of these ovals, there's improvement. But, I mean, when you're crashing 2 out of 3 races, competitors, and in one race you made 2 separate crashes, it's embarrassing. But what do I know? I have a social media page. I don't drive a stock car. Who knows? Maybe I would do better. Probably not. But anyways, then we move on to the Cup race. And we had a couple things happen. We had Jesse Love and Kyle Busch, surprisingly. RCR teammates get into it. Kyle Busch freaked out, basically saying, this is what you get for blocking me. And Jesse Love was holding him up. I mean, seriously. I mean, this is more of a learning experience for Jesse Love. You're not running for points. Kyle Busch is. Yeah, move over. I know, like, that's the sad thing to say because it's racing. We're all competitive. But you got to know when you just got to let him go. So he was blocking. Then finally, Kyle Busch sends him into Buescher, spins Buescher out, kind of ruins his day. But Jesse Love was like, oh, thanks, Kyle Busch. But look, man, I mean, it's a full-time driver going for points versus you being a part-time driver. You're only out there for experience. I mean, so just get out of the way. There's no reason to be battling for 22nd, holding up somebody that's going, for points. But, yeah, that's interesting to see that it was between 2 teammates. And Kyle Busch said that he deserved it. And then, surprisingly, more team stuff. James Smalls and Chase Briscoe over the radio. Briscoe breaks apart in his car, has to go to the DVP area, doesn't know where it is. And James Smalls is like, maybe if you read the fucking map, you would know where to go. So I just think it's interesting that a crew chief says that. And Chase Briscoe said nothing after that on the radio. But I'm wondering what, like, the conversation, like, will be moving forward. Maybe they have a relationship where it doesn't really matter. And it's a heat of the moment. It's a hot day in Texas. I mean, your car just broke, so I understand that. But it's like, man, like, cool out. The guy didn't know where he was going. And what map? Like, is there a map in the car? Maybe there is a map in the car. But, it's just like, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like James Smalls, or did I say James Finch or James Smalls when I first said it? But a lot of people who like the 19 team and who are Martin Truex Jr. fans hated James Smalls and still don't understand how he has a job. But I don't really follow crew chiefs that much. But I'm under the impression that a lot of people don't like him and don't understand how he still has a job. So maybe he is the one that shouldn't have been so mad. But tough thing to happen to Chase Briscoe. He was running well. Then we get to the fun thing that happened on the last lap when Mike Joy gave everybody a heart attack. So Carson Hocevar shows up in a Dale Sr. inspired race car and gets crashed for 29th place by Cole Custer. Isn't that wonderful? And you know what's funny enough? Even though Carson Hocevar probably will be a top talent in the sport for years to come, if he figures it all out, because I just saw now, this is a little side thing as I'm recording this earlier. Monster Energy wants to get on board with Carson Hocevar, so he will have a ride forever because the sponsors will just keep rolling in. Chili's, Monster Energy. I mean, it's unlikely he'll be out of a ride just because of sponsorship and what he's growing with his fan base. So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, but to look at like Cole Custer and Carson Hocevar on paper, Cole Custer technically has the better resume. Carson Hocevar just has the few truck wins, throughout his career. But you look at Cole Custer, and he's got Xfinity Series wins, a Cup win, and an Xfinity Series championship. Granted, with this next-gen car, and I mean, really, Cole Custer has been non-existent since his Kentucky win. You would say Carson Hocevar is better right now in the Cup. Yes, but like to go, okay, if they both stopped having a career today, Cole Custer has a better overall career than Carson Hocevar does. I mean, it's just the logic of it. There's the Xfinity wins, there's the Xfinity Championship, there's the Championship 4 appearances, almost won back-to-back championships, almost won it in 2018 or 2019. So overall, Cole Custer has a better resume than Carson Hocevar. That's why it's hilarious that he was the one to wreck Carson Hocevar, had enough of it, didn't like the move that he made, and ran him off the track, crashed him and then Hocevar spins into the front stretch. So out of all the drivers to get back at Carson Hocevar, I did not have Cole Custer on my bingo card. So that was kind of funny. But let's move away from the tempers of COTA, and let's talk about something breaking news today, and I added it in right now, and that is Cleetus Mcfarland will be running an O'Reilly race for RCR at Rockingham. Now, here's the interesting thing. This race will determine if he's ready to run at Talladega. Now, when we talk about Cleetus Mcfarland and what he's done for NASCAR and what he can do for NASCAR, and it's great to see people that follow him then go to their first NASCAR race, which I've seen a lot of influencers on social media who are people that just, they came up on my For You page or whatever, followed Cleetus Mcfarland and then came to Daytona for the first time and had a ball. And that's awesome. Seriously, that's great. We want you to come have a good time with us, because probably if you're following him, you love the stuff that we have over here. But I just want them to understand that if he doesn't stick around because he doesn't turn out to be a good driver, don't go away. There's still a lot of exciting stuff. So with the McFarland situation, it's a Rockingham race, and if he does well, he'll get approved for Talladega. Now, my issue with this is simply, you kind of had the sample size for a speedway race with what he's done at Daytona and what he's done, which he finished well at Daytona this year. I think he finished 11th, so I'll give him that. But last year, there were a couple ARCA races where he took out a majority of the field, or a lot of cars. So you have to look at that, which he's growing, he's learning. It was his first year. But then you look at the truck race, when it was his first time to shine with the big boys, he crashed himself on lap 5. He hit the apron, he spun himself out, and he hit the wall. You know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of what scares me, is if he goes through Rockingham unscathed. Kind of like last year, we had a crazy race at Rockingham, goes through unscathed, and then they approve him, and he goes to Talladega, and we have the second coming of the 2002 Aaron's 312 big one because of him. We might have a sport ender, folks. But, I mean, if it's to drive viewers back into the sport, then NASCAR is going to allow it. I just don't understand their approval process with, all this. It just doesn't make sense. And Freddie Kraft makes a great point on Door Bumper Clear. I mean, he's spot on with it, saying that it's the same thing I'm saying. You wrecked yourself on lap 5 of a truck race. You've crashed cars in the ARCA races at speedway races. Why aren't you running multiple truck races, multiple O'Reilly races for 1 year and then getting the approval? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, NASCAR before has approved and not approved people to run certain races. I mean, we had Jennifer Jo Cobb the 1 year at Talladega got not approved in 2021. But Jennifer Jo Cobb had a lot of race experience, but it makes sense. She hadn't been in a cup car in, quite some time, or ever maybe. And that 2021 package was dangerous. And also, too, was Mike Wallace with the Daytona 500. Was it last year or the year prior? They told him no. And Mike Wallace, again, has won at Daytona in a Busch car and has had competitive runs in cup cars, finished second at Phoenix. But he's been out of the sport too long, so that stuff makes sense. But then, like, comparing that to this is he hasn't been in a car long enough to even get the approval with no resume. And then these guys have a resume and haven't been in a car. So where is the logic? Like, is there a formula? Like, I feel like if there was a transparent formula, it would make sense. I just feel like NASCAR just kind of is picky and choosy and ticky-tacky on who they approve and who they don't based on what they will do for the sport, which this is one other point I want to make with this whole Cleetus Mcfarland deal is, what does that tell you about the state of NASCAR, that the NASCAR heads know that they're allowing this to happen because they know how much viewership it'll bring in? That's how you know they're screwed and they need this to work so that all these people come and watch. Because there'd be if this was anybody else, I can't name another driver, but if there was a driver that wasn't Cleetus Mcfarland that ran one truck race, one truck race and a couple ARCA races and tried to do this, NASCAR would never allow it. So that's what you have to think about, is they're doing this because they know the viewership will be wild. And before you know it, he'll be in a cup car. I mean, it's crazy to say, but like in 2 or 3 years, he'll be in a cup car. I mean, seriously. But we'll see what happens at Rockingham. I mean, he hit the wall in a test by himself. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in a pack of cars, but it's a strange deal, man. But it might pay off or it might not, but let's see what he can do. I mean, he has the money to do it, so I would do the same thing. If NASCAR came to me, if NASCAR came to any of you watching and said, you do this and we'll have you race, we would all do it. It's not the right way. There's a lot of people that deserve a seat and a chance, and they're not getting it. But 4.6 million followers on YouTube and a lot of money in the bank account, that will do it. So now we move on to some other news. This was actually exciting because you could take it however you want, but I take it a very positive way, and that is about Lionel Racing. So Lionel Racing came out. I was actually mad at them. The original thing I was going to have about Lionel Racing was to shit on them because they came out and said that moving forward, first of all, they came out and said that the NASCAR Authentics line, the Wave, was going to be Darlington throwbacks from last year. And Darlington is in 3 weeks. So it's like, you guys suck. Like, they're terrible. They are terrible. Unless, and they were terrible the last few years. I mean, I could get a die cast. I mean, these die casts back here. The K2, the 8. I mean, all these other cars here. You look at these cars on my wall here, and they're all right. They were good, but they've gone downhill, especially with the certain molds. But, I wish I had a car right now. This is what a Lionel Racing car sometime, like for a couple years look like. It's like this 43. It's a little dusty, but it's like we got this. This is what Lionel Racing's making now for 164s, charging $20. This was in a cereal box. 98 cents back in 2002 for family-sized Cheerios, and you got a NASCAR. And that's what they're making us now. And it's a joke because they're the conglomerate and they can control the market. So they could do whatever the hell they want. I bought a 124 last year at the haulers. It was $85. I bought the same goddamn one this year. It was $110. How does that make sense? What happened in that year? I mean, seriously. And it's the same thing. There is not anything different. And I don't want to hear about, the materials. No, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Anyways, though, that was if Lionel didn't say this. I would have been going off about that. So Lionel announced that they are going to be, excuse me here as I scroll up, they are going to be introducing Lionel Brands Group, a new home for iconic fan-first brands. So Lionel Brands Group is the start of an exciting new chapter built around passion, heritage, and the fans who make it all possible. And with this picture, we have round 2, Auto World, Lionel Racing, Lionel, a lot of other ones. We have American Muscle, Racing Champions, and Johnny Lightning. So, here's what we have to think about. Do we think that Lionel is going to finally, like it used to be, when you can go to Walmart or Kmart, man, that's a place. I mean, they had diecasts everywhere. But anywhere. And now it's going to be made by Johnny Lightning's going to have NASCAR diecasts. Racing Champion's going to get NASCAR diecasts back. And American Muscle and all these other groups are going to get NASCAR license and NASCAR diecast or NASCAR themed diecast. Like I've seen I've been to Hobby Lobby and I stumbled across a car that looked like Bill Elliott's Coors number 9. Same paint scheme, but it wasn't Bill Elliott. I mean, that's still cool to have. It's kind of, something. But I've seen that more often. And I'll tell you a crazy story. Sometimes I have dreams as a 26-year-old that I'm young and a kid again, and I'm back in the day where I'm finding all these die casts. I'm in Walmart and I see all these die casts by different things, and then my alarm goes off. I wake up and it's not real, and I actually get mad. It's like winning the lottery or dreaming you win the lottery, and it's so real, and then you're like, ah, shit, it didn't happen. That's how I feel about finding NASCAR diecasts. But yeah, I just wonder if that would be a thing. And apparently, Racing Champion still has all the old molds. They still have all the old molds, and maybe the same for Johnny Lightning. What if we start getting legend cars again? What if we start getting more variety of cars at different stores? I mean, this could be a big thing. I mean, I'm looking at, I don't know if you guys can see my case here, but I'm looking at cars. I have Racing Champions, Team Caliber, which won't happen, but like there's Johnny Lightnings all around me. I mean, and they all look different and they're all wonderful. They have rubber tires and all these different things. And then you have, I mean, I wish I could pull one out that looks like a Lionel car today or from like last year, and I'm looking at one right now and you guys can't see it, but it's the all black interior and it looks like this. It looks like garbage. So maybe we're moving on from this because of this. It's just exciting to think about if it can happen. So let me know, what your thoughts are on that, because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. And if they don't do it, then next time I talk about them, I will gladly collect all the die-casts I have and line them up, and we'll go from 2001 when it was great quality to somehow we have more technology and as many resources, as much money as it possibly can have, and it's 100 times worse. But that's all moving on from Lionel. So let's keep moving on. And we have our weekly awards, and I still don't have a name for them, but we're going to have the biggest winner, the biggest loser, and the bonehead. The bonehead. I got to think, I want to do, I don't want to steal Jimmy Spencer's style with the crying towel and the cigar award, but I might have to. Might have to bring it back. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening. But I'll think of a good awards or some sort of, superlative or something. But, the biggest winner, of course, of the entire weekend is Tyler Reddick. 3 in a row, makes history. Becomes the first driver to win 3 races in a row to start a season, and can still look to win 4, 5, 6. I mean, as many as he wants. A lot of good tracks for him coming up. So Tyler Reddick is my winner for this week. My biggest loser for this week is going to come as a shock. It's the second place finisher of the Cup race, and people are going to go, whoa, baby. SVG. This was a race that SVG had to win. I know we're early in the year, but we don't have as many road courses as we did last year, to my knowledge. I think I'm correct. Yeah, because Charlotte Roval's gone. Yeah. So with the Charlotte Roval gone, so we have COTA, we have St. Petersburg, we have San Diego, Watkins Glen, Infineon. So that's 4. And if I'm forgetting one, I probably am. Or do we only have 4 now? I don't know. We have less road courses than we had in years prior. But this is a race that he needs to win. I mean, he's not going to win the championship, and he's going to get better on ovals, so the opportunity will be there to get better points days. But with the way that the Chase and this point system awards winning, this would have been a big jump for him to, even if he's not comfortably in the Chase or even now is in the Chase, it still helps that he can have some lackluster performances and still go for that 16th to 12th spot if he were to win every single road course race for the entire season like we all think. So for him not to win this, it kind of puts them backwards. I mean, it's not playoffs anymore. So it's not like, oh, we could go to the next road course and win and we're in the postseason. No, you have to be consistent. And his consistency on the ovals isn't good enough yet to where you have to win every road course race to make the Chase. Especially if there's problems and he starts to drop off the face of the earth. Because the guys that he's ahead, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, all these other drivers that are good at every track, they're going to catch up. They're going to pass him. So you take him, there's 4 drivers right there. He's going to just drop under. So if he's 12th right now, he goes to 16th. And who's to say that other guys don't get going and then, now he's dropped. And you win a road course race here or there. I mean, if it comes down to it at Daytona and he misses it by, let's say, 15 points, or 10 points. That was your COTA. That was your chance to make the playoffs. And I know it's only the third race of the year, but I am not overreacting. It's going to come down to it unless he is consistent on ovals. So he is this week's biggest loser. Had to win it. Didn't. Bonehead of the week. Congratulations to the first ever two-time Bonehead of the Week, and that is Corey Day, for once again proving to everybody that you still have to learn how to drive a stock car. Your car is broken. Hit the brake. Don't run over the best prospect that the sport has ever seen. I mean, and the way Connor Zillage handled the interview was perfect. The way Corey Day did, not so much. But Corey Day, once again, wins the Bonehead Award of the Week because he consistently keeps crashing other drivers. I don't know who else I probably could have put in there. But yeah, Corey Day. I think Corey Day is going to be a common character in this Bonehead Award of the year. But now let's look ahead with the schedule. We only have 2 races next week. Kind of get back to some traditionalist NASCAR. 1 mile flat oval of Phoenix. Wish Phoenix was still the grass. That was my favorite version of Phoenix. Front straightaway was the back straightaway, and now it's all messed up, and we can drive through a parking lot to pass 6-7 cars. And go 6 wide. It's exciting stuff. And then after 2 laps, it's single file. And the horsepower, I believe, is going to be up. And who knows if they'll bring a new tire. But yeah, Phoenix, it's just going to be cool to get some oval racing in to kind of know now, without these wild card tracks, what teams are going to put it together. In the O'Reilly, I feel like the O'Reilly race is going to be better because the O'Reilly cars drive better and they are traditional stock cars compared to the Cup cars. I believe the O'Reilly race is going to be a night race. I think IndyCar is first on Saturday, and then the O'Reilly race. That's another thing. It's an IndyCar doubleheader. Always cool to see a doubleheader with another sport. So that'll be cool to see how IndyCar races there. I wonder if they would take that dog leg. I don't know. I mean, that'd be something just to bottom out on that. So it'll be cool to see the IndyCars. IndyCar and O'Reilly will be better than Cup, of course. Cup's always lackluster there unless it's the championship. And they throw a caution for 3 laps to go because a car hit the wall. But anyways, that's kind of what we have to look forward to. A traditional oval, flat, 1 mile. But we'll see what happens. I mean, if I'm going to make an early prediction on something for Xfinity, I would say Justin Allgaier for O'Reilly. I keep saying Xfinity. For O'Reilly, I would say Justin Allgaier is going to probably Justin Allgaier, Sammy Smith. I wouldn't be surprised if Christian Eckes somehow pulls something there. Well, maybe not. No. I'm going Sammy Smith, Justin Allgaier. Those are my 2 guys for Phoenix Saturday night. Cup. Oh man, I mean, I don't know who to pick. I mean, it'd be cool to see Reddick win 4 in a row. I have an opinion on somebody that everybody is gonna not think is true, but I think for Cup, the driver that finished second in the spring and was 3 laps, or not even 3 laps, was 1.5 laps away from winning a championship, or 2 laps from winning a championship in the fall at the track, is going to win the race because of what happened last year being so short. I think it would be a cool redemption story, although it doesn't matter for anything because that's, last year's race meant a lot more. I think Denny Hamlin is going to win at Phoenix. And if not Denny Hamlin, I would probably say Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney has one of the best average finishes at Phoenix with the next-gen car, so I would lean towards Ryan Blaney or Denny Hamlin. So O'Reilly, Justin Allgaier, or Sammy Smith. Cup, Denny Hamlin, or Ryan Blaney. So let me know who you guys think has an opportunity to win next weekend. Going to be exciting. We have the doubleheader, got 2 series, and we have 2 different sports, IndyCar and NASCAR. I'll probably watch the IndyCar race. Maybe I'll talk about it next week, but that's all we have to talk about in this week's episode. If you guys would leave a like and subscribe, I would appreciate that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on some of the stuff that I talked about today. And as always, I look forward to doing another one next week. And if you guys have any opinions or want me to talk about anything in the following episodes, please let me know down below. Anything's appreciated. So yeah, with that, I leave you with absolutely nothing because I'm not creative and can't think of an outro. So see you guys in the next episode.